Welcome to AgGateway's eBusiness Readiness presentation. My name is Marilyn Hunter, and I am excited that you're taking the time today to review this webinar. This session is focused on eBusiness readiness. We will be addressing what is eBusiness, the enablers of eBusiness, are you ready for eBusiness, how to get started in eBusiness, and who to contact. What is eBusiness? Electronic business is commonly referred to as e-business or internet business. Wikipedia defines e-business as the application of information and communication technology in support of all activities of business. E-business is using network and distributed information technology, knowledge management, and trust mechanisms to transform key business processes and relationships with customers, suppliers, employees, business partners, regulatory parties, and communities. For me, it's computers automating business processes quicker and more efficiently. You've seen people ride a bicycle. Think back when you were a young child. It looked so easy, and once you learned how to ride, the freedom you felt because you could come and go places on your own, even without your parents. You've probably heard the saying, it's just like riding a bicycle, meaning your brain remembers how to do something because it has learned and retained it. Riding a bike is easy once you learn how, and you can jump on and go anywhere. But to learn to ride, you probably experienced some bumps, bruises, and scratches. But I'm sure you're like me and they healed quickly. A friend shared with me his experience of trying to teach his daughter to ride a bike. After falling a couple times, she decided to quit. But when one of the neighbor girls said she could ride a bike, that gave the daughter the determination to ride, and she did fairly quickly. She had some competition. E-business is similar. It is easy, and it provides so much freedom once you learn how to do it. And you don't have to be left behind your competition. I'd like to talk a little bit about what I call the enablers of e-business. That is knowledge management, trust and security, technology, strategic direction, leadership and culture. So I'll be addressing each of these items in the next few slides. With knowledge management, it's important that data and information is being managed. Anywhere that you send or receive data needs to be managed, or why send or receive it. The problem for many is what to do with the data when they receive it. Here are some examples below of the types of information that you may be sending or receiving, such as customer, suppliers, or employee information, transactions that include business names, demographics, product quantities, or other business type information. Having a plan and mapping out what the data is and how it can best help manage your business either now or in the future is an important step towards e-business, and it also will make you much more effective and efficient. Trust is an important element in all relationships. In e-business, it provides confidence with honesty, integrity, reliability of another entity or person. Security is also important to protect your assets, such as does your company have non-disclosure agreements, security protocols, authentication, access privilege policies for your physical as well as your systems? Have you identified your communication ports, the types of encryption and data integrity system you'll be using? Is there a firewall management and audit systems in place? These are all the various components that you'll need to think about if you're thinking about doing e-business. Technology can sometimes be the easiest part or the most frustrating part of e-business. Using the technology to aid your business and having a well-defined and documented infrastructure is helpful for transition of people and software. Technology provides the infrastructure for the items listed on this slide, as well as other capabilities that your mind can imagine. A strategic plan provides a direction that leads organizations to the achievement of goals. It also provides the path of what is important to the company and its stakeholders. It provides that focus as to what the organization should be doing. Do you have a written e-business strategy? Or is e-business a key success factor within your overall business strategy? If not, you need to review that, and we have another presentation on strategic planning. Leadership is the ability of leading a group of people or organization by providing a clear vision for them to understand the direction, sharing the vision with others so that they're willing to follow, providing the information, knowledge, and methods to realize that vision, coordinating and balancing conflicting interests of all members or stakeholders, in other words, working as a team, removing barriers so that the team can achieve the vision. With culture, culture is the behavior and beliefs of an organization, how it operates, how it treats its employees, and responds to its customers. So is the CIO or Director of IT in your organization a member of the senior management team? Is IT a critical department for the business? If not, the culture may be such that it may be difficult to move to e-business forward quickly. Are you ready for e-business? Here are some things that you need to consider. Looking at your current state, or what are you doing today to become ready for e-business? What do you want your future to be? What do you have to do to ensure that you will be competitive in the future? Or do you just want to survive rather than thrive? A strategic plan helps to establish what that will be like. Consider the gaps. Determine the gaps that identified between your current state and your future vision. This is the area in which you'll be needing to work on now. And then action. Determine the plan that needs to be put in place to establish and achieve your future vision for e-business. What do you need to do now to get ready for e-business? Well, I'd suggest you start with gathering information. This presentation is a good step, but talk to those who have already traveled the road ahead of you. Document your current status, and I'll discuss that a bit more in the next slide. Develop an e-business strategic plan if non-existent. Where does your plan include upstream and downstream activity, either now or in the future? If you need help developing an e-business strategic plan, AgGateway can help your company with that process. After you've developed the e-business strategic plan, you'll need to determine how that plan will fit into the overall company strategic plan. Where does e-business bring value to your organization? If you're struggling with this, please contact us at AgGateway and we can help you with that process. Then, seek to obtain stakeholders' buy-in to that strategic plan. This is an important part of a successful e-business project. So let's look at your current state. What is that current status? This is the information that you'll need to determine where you are today. What are the current e-business relationships? Here are some examples. Do you have a relationship with one or more third-party e-business agents, such as a hosting company, an email hosting company, someone that's gathering your sales information, etc.? Do you have an electronic relationship with one or more of your trading partners, such as EDI, XML, web services? What about your internet capabilities? Do you have a website? Do you have an email server? Do you have a static IP address? Do you have secure incoming or outgoing ports? AgGateway has an e-business readiness survey that you can take that asks some of these questions. You can contact member services to get a copy of that survey. Continuing with your current status, what is your current system infrastructure? And is it documented? If not, document and define your current system's infrastructure, such as what type of servers do you have? How many databases do you support? How many software applications and on which servers do they reside? What business system do you export data from or import data into from the order to invoice process? Do you have an ERP or integrated business systems, or are you running a number of applications? What type of security do you have to protect your systems? Like, do you have multiple firewalls? Do you have a system security policy in place? Do you have a disaster recovery plan? Who's responsible for your security policy and your disaster recovery plan? How about your data management? Review your data management and answer the following question. Is your data organized? Do you have somebody responsible for your master data? Do you know where all the outbound data is housed? Do you know where all the inbound data is stored? Are you an AGGAS subscriber? AGGAS is an acronym for the Ag Industry Identification System Database. AGGAS is a directory of unique identifiers for entities, products, and seed trait license. All AgGateway members have access to AGGAS, but those that utilize it for eBusiness typically subscribe to the services and subset management of this directory. Are you keeping your data and AGGAS directory updated and synchronized? Do you know or have documented your current business processes? Do you know the answers to the following questions? Can you measure your current business processes from start to finish, including the man hours and the system processing? How long does it take to do a business process? How many people are involved in each process? Don't forget the people who may be opening the mail or handling the beginning or the end of the manual process. What is the current cost to complete each process? Include the cost of the people and all their benefits. Many companies have a percentage of their benefit costs, so you can use that as a factor if that's much easier. It's important to know this information as it will provide the cost basis for your current state, and you can use that to establish the ROI for eBusiness. What about your system? Can you measure your systems, especially identifying those systems or applications that are used for each business process? How many systems are used for the business process? How many reference tables do you use, such as your current customer data, product data, pricing, etc.? Are the systems integrated or compatible or easily accessible? Do you know how long it takes to process transactions or batches through your systems now? If you are considering doing XML transactions, what are your current resources? Do you have any in-house XML expertise? Do you have software that can send and receive XML reliably? Do you have software mapping tools? Do you have multiple firewalls? That's referred to as a DMZ. These are all resources you'll either need to have, acquire, or outsource. These are all good questions that you should be aware of and determine how you will address them if you want to be ready for eBusiness in Ag. This slide is a bit lengthy, but important to those looking at B2B messaging software systems. Most companies are currently doing XML eBusiness, are typically sending via point-to-point, where some of them are using third-party integrator, but it's still point-to-point for their trading partners. Here are 4 essential steps in point-to-point technology that you want to ensure your messaging software is capable of doing. First, data transport and guarantee secure messaging. This gets the document or message from one trading partner to the other back with 100% reliability and security. When you send something, you know it got there, you know it's been acted upon by the system, and it cannot be tampered with, and the right message cannot get to the wrong destination. This is far superior to emailing documents since most companies are not sending encrypted emails. Data transformation. This means converting the data, we call it the payload, such as purchase order or invoice data, into the format that is readable by the recipient's computer system. AgGateway has standard formats and guidelines to help with this process. The B2B messaging product works with a mapping tool to take care of all of that and manages it without expensive programming. Data integration. Integration is getting data automatically into and out of the business system so that it can be sent and received electronically. Integration is what eliminates the manual data entry cost and keying that may be costly to rectify. An important part about integration is that it should not need to modify your existing computer systems much. Choreography management is the management of what happens next. When documents and messages are exchanged electronically between trading partners, there may be a requirement to issue a business and/or technical response to a document or respond within a certain period of time that the B2B solution must carry out and manage. This is especially true if the computer business system cannot provide the correct responses, timing, acknowledgement, sequencing, etc., which can often be the case. What do you want your future to be? What needs to be done from a strategic standpoint to be more competitive? Here are some points we've heard from a strategic standpoint for companies to be more competitive. That would be receiving and providing the right products and services at the right time at a marketable price. Become a more trusted and reliable business partner. More loyal customers result in increased revenues. Become easier to do business with. Companies want to do business with you. Result in increased revenue. Reduce the cost of doing business. Results in decreased expenses, better bottom line. Being agile, able to act on customer demand. More real-time information so that you can act or react to your customers' demands. All of these points can be enabled by eBusiness. Start with a strategic plan to determine the direction of your future. So what are the gaps? First, take a look at all the items we identified in the Now slides before. Develop a strategic plan to determine what the future will be like and what are the gaps between now and the future. Talk with AgGateway member services if you need help and assistance with enabling connectivity and/or reviewing or helping with your strategic plan. What are the next steps? We'll develop an action plan that should be part of your strategic plan. Document what needs to be done. Determine what resources are needed, internal, external, such as people, software, hardware, security systems, etc. Determine who can supply the expertise, either internal or external. Determine who you want to connect with. Discuss with your trading partners whether and when they have time to connect with you. And implement the action plan. Riding a bike or getting started in e-business is well worth the learning process. As you lay out your plan of what you want to get accomplished, think about all the capabilities you may have in the future. Then create your plan, work the plan, and achieve the success and the freedom to do more with your suppliers, your customers, and your organization. I believe that eBusiness is a more cost-effective and efficient way of doing business, and AgGateway is the trusted source and authority of eBusiness in agriculture. If you have any questions or are interested in getting started with e-connectivity, please contact AgGateway's member services. The email and phone number are listed here, as well as you can find that same information on AgGateway's homepage, which is www.aggateway.org. This concludes this session. Thank you.